welcome to Flory Models. Here we are on Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, yeah.
Monkey.
But I'm still working, we're all still working, we're all still here. So here we are on the 13th of April, 2020, week 4 of the lockdown. Good afternoon, everybody. We trust you're all well and healthy, keeping safe, washing your hands, social distancing. Anything else we need to cover these days?
I think that's about it.
Is that about it? We're done now. So yes, good afternoon to everybody. Great to be back again. Another week at it, to be honest. I know me and Matt have been working today. Matt's been busy at the PM Towers.
Yep, been doing some orders, catching up on some of the orders so not get swamped.
Yes, doing lots of orders. And to be honest, I was up nice and bright and early as well. And I've been doing orders as well. Can't send them yet because obviously the post office isn't open. But they are all done, completely up to date as of midday today as well. So all of those will go out on tomorrow's post. So I'll take them over first thing in the morning till they get a full shout. Because to be honest, there's lots of them. So everyone's been very, very busy. So yes, good afternoon. Well done to everybody who found an Easter egg, who cheated. Yes, we've got your number, because obviously the big question is that you have to ask people is that what page was the egg on then? And no one can tell you. We won't go into the ins and outs of it because we'll give you bonus points for cheating and doing it that way. Needless to say though, since I changed it, and I won't go into the ins and outs of how they found it, but they just do a Google search on the site. But then once we twigged that and changed it, there's still 2 50% discount codes available. So if you do want to take the time and go off and have a look around the actual site without cheating, they will be up there as well. So you can actually go along, find it. There's still 2 available because since I've changed it, only 2 have been found. So that was it. So anyway, well done to everybody who found it. No problem at all. It was all a lot of fun. But as I say, those orders have all been done, sorted, and they will all go out to you tomorrow. So that's a good one there. So yes, goody. So never mind, how was everybody's weekend? I know we were here Saturday night, but you know, yeah, you did have a day off.
Mine were quiet, to be honest, yesterday. It seemed to be one of them days that just went and it didn't seem to achieve a lot. So, yeah, it was a bit of a, I don't know, just one of them days, I think, for me yesterday.
Yeah, same here. It's just Groundhog Day, isn't it?
Yeah,
Definitely, yes.
pretty much, yeah.
Just got to do a quick one to William. Hello, William. Apparently 3-year-old and smiles when he sees us.
Oh, hello.
So that's it.
There we
Obviously, he'll be all right when he's older. He'll learn.
Hey, at least we put a smile on somebody's face.
Yeah, that's it, definitely. I must admit, I had a nice day yesterday because we took the dogs out for a really long walk all round the lanes and it was proper hot. And it was nice because there's no cars or anything. It's all the odd tractor and the odd cow, and that was quite it. So we went off for a really, really long walk with the dogs. And it was proper hot. It was one of those things where the roads are so quiet, it is really odd. You know, walking along the dual carriageway back, and it was like just nothing on it. It is still very, very odd, very surreal out there. But anyway, it's a good sign because that means nobody's on the roads, which is definitely good. So anyway, hello to Germany, hello to various places all around. Loads of you in YouTube chat as well. Good afternoon, guys. Great to have you all on here. To be honest, I've been quite busy. I'm a little bit disappointed because I was trying to upload to YouTube this afternoon and it's taking forever. So I've had to cancel the upload because obviously to do the show. And I think it's just the sheer quantity of people on there. So part 10 will be up with you tomorrow because after the show, I've got a bit of work to do and I'll upload it then as well. And then I'll put it up with you tomorrow. But that is the next part of this, which actually gets you on its stand. It is now on its stand. So to be honest, it's all about the weathering on this one and then how to make an acrylic stand. And then to be honest, it's all here still because I did it this morning. We've got the hot air gun and we actually bent the acrylic. So I've shown exactly how I do it. Camera's actually everywhere as we made our way through. So it's on. It's not fixed yet because I need to actually epoxy this in. But the whole point is then I can rotate this and move it around, get it all onto it. But it's coming along very, very nicely indeed. So anyway, that will be up with you tomorrow. I wanted it to be up. Well, I was hoping it was going to finish rendering literally whilst we were up to date, but clearly not. But that will be up with you definitely tomorrow. And then tomorrow I'm going to be pushing on with this thing, getting all the parts to it. Because obviously you saw us did it. We did all the missiles. They are now done. The fuel tanks, so we get those all painted up. We get them installed onto it. We get all the photo etch onto it. All the parts that I've knocked off can go back onto it, and we'll be good to go. But I must admit, I do like them in flight, and I think the MiG-23, once it's armed up, will look very, very nice as well. So that'll go along very nice with the MiG. Other things I've been doing. To be honest, I can be posh now just because the new camera's arrived. And I set all the white balances today. So the white balances look like this now. So this is our new close-up cam, which is very nice, as you can see, hopefully, no problem. So this has now been re-scribed in both sides as we did the other day. It's had a coat of black on there, so that's looking pretty good and marries in with everything. So this is now ready for a proper coat of paint. So it's going to be white and gold grey, although I am going to weather it in as well. So Matt's got the decals winging their way down to me, hopefully.
Yep.
And then we can get this thing on and finished along. So that's going to be coming along very, very nicely. And now we've got the full stream cam. So we've got the close-up cam. This is the brand new camera. Set the white balances and that today. And then we've got the overall. And look, they're actually the same colour, which is weird. So we've done that. And then obviously the one in the spray booth now is correct as well and is sorted. So that one's all done in there. So we've got all the cameras on, and I've still got the overall one as well. So we've kept all the cameras now, so we're running 5 cameras weirdly, which is all a little bit surreal and strange. But yes, apart from that, all good indeed. So how's it been going on the old modelling front then, Matt? I see you've finished off the Buccaneer.
The Buccaneer is finished. Yeah, let me just put my bird up. I think I finished this Saturday night, was it? And yes, I think I did a bit yesterday morning. I got up early and finished it. But yeah, it's finished. It is done. I've done a bit of weathering on the top, just an oil wash, nothing over the top. Because it looked really bland and a bit of streaking down the sides and stuff. But yeah, come out well.
Very nice.
10-footer.
So what do you think to the kit?
Oh, I like it. I think it's a brilliant kit. To be honest, I think it's really nice. Say I just lost my mojo with it, like when we'd started them. Just lost my mojo for aircraft, I think. But yeah, actually, once you get to the paint stage and decaling, it just seemed to come back. So yeah, obviously best in scale by absolute country mile, but highly recommended. Really nice build, well detailed. Definitely worth the money. Good one from Airfix. I'm quite looking forward to the other version as well. And as you can see, I'm building railings. So
I was going to say, so what kit is this? It looks
like
this
is mini art, actually. What, for the railings? It's just a mini art accessory.
Oh right, got you. No, I was looking at the truck behind it.
Oh, the truck, sorry, the IBG. One of them.
Oh right.
QLD. Again, it's one of them I've got so far, and it's been stuck under here, so I'm thinking we're just finishing all my shelf queens at the minute, so God knows what I'm going to do for that 6 start. So I did a bit of this yesterday, so I got the chassis already sort of mostly together, got the engine painted, radiator. You can't see any of it. It's a shame because it's a bit like, I think it was the Polish armoured car thing, the modern one, and building, I can't think what it's called, but same scenario. You've got an engine, you have got a full engine that you could wire and everything, but once the cab's on, that will sit in there and there's nowhere showing it because just cover it, there's nowhere seeing it. You've got a radiator. Yeah, it's a shame really because there's just obviously no way of showing it, and also you can't even open the doors, so they're all moulded together unless you want to do a lot of hacking and cutting.
I was going to say, man, your talents.
Nah, I can't be bothered with that, if I'm honest. But actually, the kit itself, because that is separate piece chassis, and I think I've got it square. I think. We'll soon find out when the wheels go on. But it's really, really detailed. I think all their kits are. It's just, like I say, it's a shame you can't see any of this. Well, you'll see a bit if it's upside down, but again, just saying, this is all the paint is. I was just playing about with some paint yesterday. It's a Taka red line, thinned with Vallejo airbrush cleaner. And it's sprayed absolutely beautifully. No clogging, no tip dry, nothing.
Very nice.
It's smooth. So I've got a set of, I've had for a while, before we were selling it, I think I've had it, but the British AFV paint set. Yeah. So I'm going to paint it in the acrylic range of whichever one it should be, I think. I can't remember which. I think it's that olive drab, number 15. And give that a go. But yeah, really, really quite impressed with how that went down. So that's what my next sort of project, and as you can see, hold on, I'll put the cam back on.
Here we go.
I bought that open finish. I bought my dye a little base to finish as well while we're off. Cool. We're in between working. So I've got that one and the one behind it, so that'll keep me busy for the next few weeks, I reckon.
Very good. Cool.
Yeah.
Coming along very nicely.
Thanks.
Nathan, still sanding and sanding
How did you guess? How did you guess?
and sanding.
And I'm giving the javelins having a rest again. So I've sprue-gooed. I just need to clear up the sprue on the side there, rescribe that.
Yeah.
Paint up the tank and the boosters.
Mhm.
And then I think I'm going to do it as Endeavour.
Yeah.
That's the plan. So it should be in the spray booth today, this thing, because I've just got a little bit of sinkholes that I've filled with Tamiya surface primer. And then it's a matter of working out how to paint this because it comes as one part in the kit, which is not that convenient.
No, not for painting the tank, sort of beigey colour, rusty beigey colour, depending on how long it's been sat out.
And I could cut it, but I think I'll have a go at painting it all in one go.
Yeah.
We'll see how we get on.
Very
Apart from
nice.
that, nothing to report, I'm afraid.
The decals, are they the kit's decals?
Yeah, these are the kit decals. It gives you the ability to do any of the shuttles, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And then this big plaque for the base. So I was running through it with which one to do. I think I'll do Endeavour.
Yes. Yeah, I did Atlantis was my one. I must admit, I had Atlantis as my giant one up there. So very nice indeed.
Which was the one that unfortunately exploded? Which one was that?
Columbia.
It's Columbia and Challenger, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the two C's. It's both the C's that
Yeah. Obviously, Challenger going up, Columbia coming down. So.
Oh, you can't do Challenger on this one. Doesn't
No.
give you Challenger.
Yeah, because I went with Atlantis because I think wasn't it Atlantis was the last one up.
Which was the first one up?
Columbia,
Was it?
I think.
Then Enterprise is the one that's never been to space, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the glide one, wasn't it? The test one. Which, to be honest, is what my kit is modelled on. That's what they took all the things, so that's why the windows were all wrong. We had to change all the windows because it's got like big windows and not the small ones like the ones that went into space. So yes, very good. Hello to everybody in live chats all over the place as well. Great to have you on here. They're all in there. Bless them. I've just got a couple of questions in here. Just one question is, I have a couple of bottles of your Pro Modelers Dark Dirt Wash. They're 8 to 10 years old. I've given them a shake and they look okay in the bottle. Is there a shelf life on the clay wash? No, but it won't be the same as what's available now. It will be over 10 years old now, I would have thought, because Pro Modeler, we switched to Flory Models 1. And then about 5 years after we switched, the formula was changed. So that will be the old type, which will be, to be honest, it was a different pigment we were using in those days. So the colour will be slightly different to a modern one. But in theory, should be nothing wrong with it. Usual thing, if you find it's gritty, tip it out of the bottle, all of it, into a jug. Add just 1 or 2 drops, literally that's all you want to do, of washing up liquid or dishwasher soap for our American friends, and mix the hell out of it with a, like a 1-inch brush or a 2-inch brush. Just mash it all together and get it going again, because what happens is that, and that's the reason we switched, was that the pigment and the clay are different sizes of particles, and what happens is that basically the pigment acts like a magnet, so the clay sticks to it in tiny little grains, so when you lay it out it looks really, really gritty, and that's the reason we switched. And we switched then the pigment so it matches the clay, so it's smoother and no problem with it. So, but it should work absolutely fine. Just rehydrate it. I had a fella and he's dried out literally, and he said it's just rock hard, so I just said to him, add distilled water to it and see what happens, and he said it came back okay. So, but I've never known one to dry out before, but apparently it did come back and it was okay.
Cool.
So yes, very good. Everyone's hanging out, just trying to get through the quarantine. I saw another one about Molotov, but I seem to have lost it. I can't see it now. Somebody was asking about Molotov and can you thin it? Highly recommend thinning it, like me and Matt have been doing recently with self-leveling thinners, but it will thin as well with IPA. But basically it's lacquer based, I think, or very high alcohol based. So you can thin them with either of those.
Cool. I'll be back in a mo. My car boots decided to open.
Oh.
The message, I don't know why, it's just the cover's flipped off, which means the little latch thing's open. I'll be back in a mo.
Car reminded me sound like Herbie.
Yeah, that's it. Phil, can you give your cameras to Matt? Yeah, it doesn't actually work like that. Trust me, my camera setup is not one you can just plug in. It's not USB powered, unfortunately. Plus the fact there's a reason the old one of my cameras died. That was it. So they sit up here doing their bit and they just die after a while because they're on for so long. They only last about 5 years. Yes, that was it. So there we go. Okay, dilute it with, as I say, self-leveling thinners works absolutely fantastic for it. But if you haven't got that, then you have got like IPA, isopropyl alcohol. Give it a whirl with that, and it'll thin it. I highly recommend to thin it. This stuff covers extremely well, so you only need literally a couple of drops, and then thin it, and you're good to go with that one. Morning from Canada, gents. A question for you: when using oil paints for washes, what is the ideal medium for thinning? What do you use, Nath?
To be honest, whatever's. I've not really done that much.
Well, I must admit, I tend to use low odor thinners. Anything I would highly recommend using a more of a branded product, but honestly, X20 works beautifully as well.
Yeah, the blue top. I've got the blue top.
Yeah.
That.
So I tend to use X20 or like a low odor thinners, because normally they're a highly refined one. You'll find you'll get better results with those than obviously normal thinners and things like that.
Just trying to find something that's like UK available for thinning it. I've got something somewhere.
I did have. You remember Humbrol used to do the cans of thinners?
Yeah.
I did have that at one point. That's horrible stuff. That might as well just get it out from B&Q. That's not good stuff. That it's pretty ropey.
Colour coats. Do.
Are you on about this, Phil?
White ensign paints in our colour coats. That one's quite nice.
Ooh, it's a posh can as well.
Get a massive bottle for I think probably about the same price as I paid to get one of these in from Hong Kong.
Go on, give it a sniff, Matt.
Ooh, that's childhood again.
Yeah.
That's
it.
Oh yeah, that smells really alright. You got one as well.
Yeah.
Because I got them with the blue label on still, which was the original one, I think.
I think that's the best enamel thinners you can get, though, isn't it? That blue top. But for some reason, they've not released it. They haven't released their enamel paints here, have they? So.
No. Oh God, I've got all over my hands now. It stinks. Oh.
What you get, you've already sniffed it now.
There's a couple of TM questions if you're ready.
Yeah, go for it.
What we done?
First one is the 72nd scale space shuttle. Is that going to come back?
The
oh no, it's the Tamiya
72.
one.
Is that the Tamiya one?
Yeah, that's
144, isn't it?
Is that 144? Who does the 72 one then?
It's the 1 to 100, isn't it, Matt?
It's 1 to 100. Yeah, sorry, yeah. Anyway, if it's a Tamiya one, yes, it will be back in. I've got a box ordered, but it's a special order, so.
Who does the 72 scale
one? The
one?
72 one, to be honest, is Revell.
It's the old Revell one, monogram, isn't it?
It's the monogram one. Was redone by Revell. I haven't seen it because they released it with the it's got the open up back. This one has got it, but it's awful. But on its own, just the orbiter. But I haven't seen it with the boosters. That's just because I had it sat in my stash for years. I don't know if it's available with the booster set and everything with it.
I think Jim wants the one that you built, Phil.
Yeah, I don't know if that's available at the moment.
No.
Because it looks, it's huge. It's about almost 3 foot tall. It's ridiculous. But, yes.
And the other one is about an Edard 109 E4. Let me just check the scale on that kit. Is it the 32 scale one? Oh, sorry, it won't be a second.
It's all right.
It 8263 is the 48 scale 109E4.
Is it available?
Is it available? Can we get it?
I'll have to check, but I don't think it's in production. I'm not 100%, but I will have a quick look for you.
And on scale, mates, it's a 2012 kit.
Yeah, it comes and goes, but obviously with the Battle of Britain memorial thing coming up, or centenary, not centenary, you know what I mean? It might get released. It's when Eddard do a run of them. I'll just quickly have a look. I know the 32nd one's not in production. There's an early one out, which I think's the Spanish Civil War one.
I think at Nuremberg we're talking about K4s, G. No, it's hard. Scalemates is not really helping here. It's lumped all the 109 variants into one long thread.
Yeah.
Yeah. 80th anniversary of the Battle of Britain this year.
Blimey.
Yeah, there's going to be a few kits coming out for that, hopefully.
Well,
Well, there were a few announced, weren't there?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Kent is asking what's the difference between X20 and X20A. X20 is enamel. Is blue topped.
A for acrylic.
Is acrylic.
Alcohol.
Well, the 148th BF 109 with Von Vera decals. That is the 2012 release.
Is it?
Mm.
Yeah, probably.
Neil
not.
says, did I get the message about the Lockdown Air Show? I did, but I can't clearly show it on here or anything else like that because obviously it's somebody else's video and I'd get done for it. So I can't do that.
Sorry, what thing was it? Nath, an E what?
E4.
No, can get an E3. But not an E4. Can get the white nose E3.
Yeah, I wonder if King Kit have got it, Richard. Richard's after it. It
Is
sounds
it?
like a Utes market, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just an E3.
Trevor's asking what's the yellow. Oh, it keeps moving. What yellow is on the 109 tail?
RLM04.
Yeah, good old RLM04.
Guns do a good colour for that. And the Tacker do, to be honest. We could have a 109 chat this afternoon. Keep Nath busy.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, God.
Plenty of mileage with 109s.
Yeah, it is funny how that aircraft is so popular.
There's a couple here. We'll run through these as quick as we can. Hi Phil, looking to build my first modern jet. Any recommendations for a 148 scale Hornet? To be honest, you know, Kinetic is the way to go. It's available as well at the moment. But yeah, the Kinetic one, that's the nice one. They've just done a new version of it, if you like, called the Gold version. Apparently they've upgraded the bit up at the top to make a better fit on it, which is quite nice as well. So that's definitely what I would go with. It would be my choice.
Can I just thingy? You can get the E4 weekend edition in 48. So, which is black 7 and another one, but I can't tell. It's one with a yellow nose and a red band around it.
I think you might be after a particular.
Yeah, right, okay. Fair enough.
Danny Hoogstraten's got 3 109s on the go at the moment. E1, an E3 and a G2.
Oh, right, okay.
Series production. And Garen's asking about Wing Nut Wings, but I think we're still sitting tight, aren't we?
Yeah, say Paul Crawley as well. He's mentioning I heard over the weekend that Wings have stopped trading. To be honest, we spoke about this on Friday, on the Friday show, and as I said, at the moment we're just going to keep quiet and we'll wait and see exactly what's going to happen. I don't think there's any more official announcement been made. So apparently they did say within the week or two they were going to make an official announcement. So I think what we're going to do is just hold tight, because you know what's going to happen. At the moment there's probably just so much scaremongering going round, and I was going to say it could be not correct. We don't know. We haven't had an official announcement. We've only had reliable sources, shall we say, from the internet. But I would like to hear it from Wing That Wings themselves first.
Definite. Yeah, definite.
As I say, because you know what's going to happen. At the moment, I can guarantee you will not be able to find a Wing That Wings kit because a lot of people are just going to buy them, sit on them for 6 months, and then sell them at an exaggerated, horrendous price on eBay. And that's what's going to happen. Which is terrible, really, but it's the way the world is, unfortunately. So, Matt, have you got them all bought in?
Yeah, I've just done it.
Just filled the basket. That's it.
Yeah, clear them out of Wing That Wings kit.
That's it. So they'll be available from us in about 6 months when they're all triple the price. No, we won't. We don't do that. The other one was I'm trying to, because as I say, it's a nightmare on our forum. Somebody was asking about Pramjit coming back in. I don't know if he'll be in this week. I will speak to him. He might be even watching this because he normally does. But as I say, don't forget, he has got a full-time job at Airfix. So for him to come in, he is giving up his valuable time to do that. So what I'll do is I'll message him, see if he wants to come in on Thursday, because he can only do evenings, obviously. And see if he wants to come back in and do part 2. And we'll go from there, really.
Yep.
Daryl says, how do you sand burns or flash from relatively really fine parts such as handrails, specifically long ones with multiple joins, without the exception of it snapping in half? And then somebody put very carefully, which is true. If you know, the thing is, like I always say, if you cut them off the sprue, I lay them down on the mat. As soon as you're doing this, they snap. So I usually lay them down on the mat, and then I've got a couple of deburring tools. So we spoke about one. I've got this sharp, lethal thing. We spoke about this. What day was that? Saturday? I don't know. It's like Groundhog Day these days. You got that, and as I say, you've got deburring tools. But I always lay them on the cutting mat and then just go across and do that with them. And then that way you can do it even if you're sanding them and going along the length of it. I don't go across, because as soon as it grabs, or you know, even if you're using a finer sanding stick, if it grabs it and bends it, they just snap. But even if I'm doing handrails or anything, I tend to lay them down and then do it. The other way as well, just to give them a bit of stability, if you're doing handrails, is to lay them onto a piece of white tack. So pop them onto the white tack and then sand them, because it will push in, and even if you sand the white tack, won't matter. You know, and that way you can do it that way as well, and it stops them pinging off. But unfortunately, tiny little things like when you're doing armour and stuff, and you've got long cables and various bits, they do have a habit of snapping.
I've got a question that I need some help with, okay? Right, let me just get it set up, and then I'll put my overhead on, because I've tried this. This is the second one I've tried to build. It's a little... What it is this.
Right.
Okay? Right? And what you get is photo etch set. Right, can you see that?
Yeah. For your wheels, for your spokes.
What's the best way of getting the chain off and sprocket, right, without bending them in half? Because that's what happened last time I tried, because they have to be stuck together, obviously, to make the chain and the thing. And it just went, because of that so thin, this is going to be hard to see, but you know, because the chain's so thin,
yeah, stick your hand behind it.
It just bent on me. Can you see that? Is that going to focus? Focus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's in the bag. It's not helping. So, what's the best way to get this photo etch off without? Because it's really thin as well. Photo etch. It's really nice, but it's so flimsy. Without just knackering it, to be honest.
What I tend to do, we're getting all photo etch off. Is... Sorry, I'm eating a mini egg.
It's all right. You carry on. Don't mind us.
Sorry, I use this, yeah? So you put your photo etch, even if it's a tiny little bit, and then if you've got a knife blade with like a chisel edge onto it, and just cut down into it. But this is rock hard.
So what's that, your infinity?
Yeah, it's just the back of the infinity ball. So that's what I use it for, all my photo etch. So I put it onto it, or if you have got, you know, clean the dust off, one of these, do it, lay it on here and then cut onto it. So, you know, and then literally just ping down onto it. But you can get little chisel blades and things like that and then just cut down. So that way you're not bending it at any point until it's free of the sprue.
Yes.
Because the trouble is, if you do it on your cutting mat, it will bend. because the cutting mat's got too much give in it. So I must admit, I tend to use this because you can see then where the little sprue gates are, and you can then just cut it.
I'll have to try that.
Try that.
But yeah, like, because I mean, obviously the bits where the sprocket bits are all right, but it's where the chain, obviously, it's right thin piece, and it just sort of buckles on itself, so it's keeping it flat.
So when you're in here, look, if I show you here, hold on, need me magnifiers for this because it's tiny.
And if you didn't gather, by the way, peeps, I don't like photo etch at all.
Right, okay. So down on here, if I pick out these little ones, because these are like little handles. Yeah. Hold on, if I go full screen.
Well, actually, they're the two wheels, the round bits.
What, these bits?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll come in here and then we just go down and we go 1. And we go 2. And then we go 3. There. Pick the bloody thing up. You get.
Yeah.
Well, that way it keeps it flat. So I must admit, I tend to cut on. This has got a tiny bit of give in it. The trouble with using the metal one is the metal one will do exactly the same, but it's rock hard. It tends to blunt your blade.
Right.
Although this has got this powder coating onto it, so it's probably not too bad. There you go. Do it like that.
Because I think once actually the two bits are together, they'll add a bit more strength to it.
Yeah.
But obviously it's getting them off without the chain.
But that's what I do. I always cut down a lot because the thing is, if you do it on the cutting mat, it's got too much give in it and it bends.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I do mine. Literally like that.
I'll try that. Show how I get on.
Yes. Watch this space.
Yeah, yeah, but it's another one in the bin.
Do the 4th bike you tried.
Tell you what though, it's not a bad detailed little kit for a push bike, because after it may sound. Does add a bit something having the proper spokes, extra spoke wheels and stuff.
Yeah.
So right, that's good because I need it for my little diorama, my little vignette. Cool, right, try that, thank you. Yeah. What's Nathan up to? Oh look, he's got another 109.
Oh look, he's got a 109 collection on the go.
I started this, and I don't know what I've done with it. This is the same scheme you get in the Edard one. The Von Vera one that crashed.
Right.
And I think this is a brilliant little kit. And the decals, Richard was asking, the Airfix decals, are they shocking? They were once upon a time, weren't they?
Oh, they're good now, they're really good.
But now they're made by Cartograph, and I think they're brilliant.
Hold on,
But
be back in one.
Yeah.
That kit builds in like a day. It goes together so well. You can do all sorts of slight variations on the E out of it, because it's got both types of canopy. And I think you can't go wrong, because how much is this kit? Is it about the £20 mark?
About 18 quid, I think. I've built it, it's brilliant kit, it's absolutely...
It's a lovely kit.
Oh, got some. Yeah.
See?
But I got... Go on.
No, go on. I'm just going to flick
question
through and see if I can see anything in this magazine. Ooh. Oh, look! I wonder who built that. Crap, no.
Professional modeler.
Yeah, it's a professional model built that, clearly.
What was going to say, Nathan?
Someone asked me about winter camo on 109s. Do I use a pre-made wash? Have you any tips for doing winter camo? I don't think I've done winter camo.
I'd do the hairspray technique myself.
Yeah.
Or chip, that sort of thing. 'Cause you get proper worn in scale effect with it.
Yeah.
And just use Tamiya white.
XF
one,
one.
XF2, 1, whatever.
The white one is.
Yeah, XF2 in it. I always get them mixed up. XF2. Even if you tint it a bit and do it as an off-white to put a bit of buff in it, or a bit of deck tan, or just, you know, tint it a bit. But once you've weathered it anyway, because it would have got absolutely ditched within probably hours of it being on. Again, I mean, I don't know, is Jamie on? Or is he sunning himself? Because he's done a few winter camo things over in the past, and his articles have been quite good on it. So
I know the white would stick around for a while. They wouldn't sort of wash it off. They'd just leave it to wear off.
But where the getting in and out of the crew, and where the maintenance around the engine and the hatches and stuff, it'd wear out pretty quick, I would have thought, getting in and out. Because it's only like a water-based sort of paste on it, really.
Something like that, yeah. They used to. At least you get to cover most of your stencils over if you do winter whitewash. You don't have to put too many. You don't leave them most of your stencils.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that is a recommended kit, that 109.
I really like this kit.
Yeah.
It builds brilliantly.
Yeah.
And it's accurate as well. It's good.
I was just, you know the one that's at Duxford?
Yes.
The diorama crashed one. I watched a little documentary on that the other day. You know that Mark Felton, who people are about productions? He's had the thing on it and how it came about and why, you know, it was a really interesting sort of 10-15 minute video he's done on it.
I think they dragged it around the country for a while, didn't they? Because it's covered in graffiti and scratches and stuff.
It went to Canada and the States. There's a war funding. You can sign your name and pay, or scratch it, or, you know, like scratch into it, or whatever they were doing, and pay some money to donate to the war fund.
Oh.
They can't work out if it was actually shot down or he actually deliberately crash landed, because it has been credited as damage to some RAF pilot. But then now they're not sure if he actually did shoot it down and the guy just bottled it and crashed in the field, basically.
Yeah, because they got a Spitfire. Was there a hurricane? Spitfire flying behind it on the box art,
Because the original pilot who flew it before it changed hands had about 4 or 5 kills, and the guy who crashed it was a novice pilot, so don't know.
It says here that von Werer became the only German prisoner of war of World War II to escape back to Germany and continue fighting.
Ooh.
Is that the one where there's a film of him?
I don't know.
I think what's it? Hardy Kruger, was it? The thing actor. I'm sure there's a film about it. So could be wrong. I'm sure somebody will correct me in chat. But yeah.
I remember Trevor Snowden talked about this kit with me, and he said the one thing Airfix had to do was get it accurate, because it's such a crowded market, like 109Es, that they really went hell for leather to get it dimensionally correct, and they did, by all accounts, get it bob. But it just builds beautifully. It's almost click fit. It builds brilliantly. But I've put it somewhere in a really safe place, half built, and I can't find it.
You've lost it.
I think what I've done is I've put it in another box. I'm like, where's it gone? I got distracted by tornadoes and put it to one side.
What scheme was you going to build it in?
I was going to do it in the box art, but not crashed.
Right, okay.
Apparently there's a film about it. It's called The One That Got Away.
There you go. And who stars in it?
I don't know. It's just that German POW escape film was called The One That Got Away.
Did he get to Canada or something?
He escaped and died in Russia, apparently.
Should have stayed put then.
Yeah, I was going to say he'd be better off staying put.
He jumped off a train in Canada and then made his way back to, I think he got, because he kept trying to escape and they caught him, and he ended up being thinking to Canada. And I'm sure I've seen it, and he jumps off a train being transported somewhere and then kind of made it back. So
I'll have to watch that film. It sounds quite good.
Good going, isn't it, really?
Hardy Kruger.
Told you, there you go, I remember. I remember him as a Panzer ace in Bridge Too Far, wasn't he? A Panzer commander or something.
It's all above my head.
Go, that's sad. Yeah.
That's a...
takes some courage then to escape from an island, doesn't it?
It does. It's not like they could just run for the Spanish border like some of our
or the Swiss border, or somewhere new visit. It's like, yeah, you got a bit of sea surrounding you. That's going to be a bit of a problem, isn't it? So
he escaped via Canada into the United States, but they weren't in the war at the time.
Yeah, there you go.
That we got back then.
So I can remember the thing where he does jump off the train.
Right, okay, couple of questions. Just, while you two reminisce. Guys, Timothy's just ordered a kit from Dora Wings. Usually builds a lot of Edard. Any comments about Dora Wings?
What's it like? Is it whose kit is it? Which one?
Yeah.
The Lysander's mega, isn't it?
I've looked at their Lysander and looked at it. Again, very, I would say, limited run, very... Who are they like? Sort of special hobby, aren't they, really?
Sword, thinking.
Swordish. Vallum.
No, I think...
Run but decent.
Yeah, to be honest, I did the review of their Lysander, and it looks really, really nice. Great kit. But again, depending on which kit you're going with.
Yes.
I was just showing the picture there. Somebody, I can't pronounce your Aero Smudge, saying, hello guys, there's a lot of 43rd F1 cars, mainly, and don't see many of them on the Flory site. Would you do a video build? Done one. I did Mark Webber's Red Bull.
He did. In the proper Red Bull blue.
In the real Red Bull blue, yes. As used on the car. So yes, we did that one. Sorry for a noob question. Can I use leveling thinners with acrylics or only for lacquer-based paints? Great show, by the way. Depending if it's an alcohol base, like we always say, if it's got a flammable symbol on it, yes, you can. If it doesn't and turns to glue, best way to double check is to make a little bit in a little pot just to see what happens. Add a bit of lacquer thinners to it. If it goes, you'll notice straight away it's fine. If it clumps up, then no. Unless you just want to keep going at it, and eventually it'll just thin out, but it doesn't become very good paint when you do it that way.
I think being a noob, stick to the thinners of the manufacturer until you sort of got a bit of knowledge, because it will bite you, and then you don't be cleaning your airbrush out when it's gunked up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite an horrible gunk as well, isn't it, to get out?
Yeah, it's proper like slime, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do we know what kit the Edard Lysander's based on?
Yes, I do. The Gavia one.
Gavia, there you go, Darren.
And it's coming back out. Gavia have gone now. I had a look. Gavia have ceased to trade, and so I do think Edard own the Lysander molds. I think they must have bought them because the kit comes out because we sold absolutely bucket loads at one point when it was in production a couple of years ago. And it's due out again this year, so they're doing another run. Good kit. Actually, a pretty good kit.
Darren wants one, so there's a pre-sale.
Yeah, when I know a date, we'll put pre-orders up, because again, it's been a really good, a good seller, and it's the only really decent kit in 48 for a Lysander.
Yeah.
It's Mark 3 though, I think, isn't it? Not a Mark 1.
I don't know the difference. Put them next to each other if I'm honest.
It must be a difference. I don't know. What's difference, Phil? You're a Lysander expert, obviously.
No, I'm not. No idea on Lysanders.
Is it engine or something like that different?
I have no idea. Gordon says, in your kit reviews, you often bemoan ejector pin marks, but what's your technique to deal with them when they are not hidden on the model? To be honest, I just sand them out. So if I can, I'll just get a skinny sander in it. So I'll use a skinny sander and just take it out, or I'll scrape clean it. So these are great for it as well. So you've got these and you can just get in there and scrape them out and all the rest of it. Failing that, like I always say, if it's just under the surface, I'll just scrape clean it out normally and do it that way. If it's anything deeper, then it will be a filler job. And to be honest, I tend to use sprue glue for it. So just the gooey stuff, the homemade filler, and just stick that into it because it tends to self-level, it needs minimal, and it's easy to sand as well because it's technically styrene, so it's straightforward on that one. Neville's saying, hi guys, you tried the little pots of acrylic paint that came with my Revell 132nd Spitfire this weekend. To my amazement, they brush painted superbly. Perfect for painting pilots, props, and alike. We were saying their acrylic stuff for hand painting is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, the little square tub
Yes.
one.
And I like the way they interlock, so it's got the thing with a pot in front of it, the lid, so you don't get any wastage either. So
yeah, they are. They just do odd colours again, don't they? For the range, it's
really weird colour range, like Tamiya do.
Yeah.
To be honest, for a while you couldn't get hold of black and white Tamiya acrylic, so I was using black and white aquacolor, Revell aquacolor. And to be honest, one of my none of them here. One of the commissions I did for the, got to think of it now. It would have been that awful, I mean, lovely resin. Hawkeye, E2C Hawkeye. All the white on that is aquacolor. It goes on all right. Once you get the mix right, it's pretty good.
Yeah, we can spray. I've sprayed it. It's like spraying extra acrylics. You've just got to get it.
Yeah.
I think the worst one is the little tubs you get with Airfix.
Yeah, they are.
The Umbro acrylics is not a great paint, is it at all?
They're just in my daughter's paint collection now for her to do like painting with them. No, they're not good for us, are they?
They're not brilliant, are they?
Do you think that using hairdryer to speed up paint drying is a good idea? Yes, and I do it all the time because that's why I have.
Careful though, don't melt it.
Hey, nothing half measures here. GHDs, although about 1 million years old because these got broken. That's why there's tape holding them together. But yes, I must admit.
The only thing you've got to be a little bit careful of is skinning over and not drying underneath.
Yeah, and also don't have it hot. It cold on cold mode as well. It'll do the trick.
Yeah.
Just it's a bit quicker than using your airbrush.
Yes.
Next time the Tornado Sig are displaying at Telford, ask who put their model in an oven to dry the paint because it didn't end well.
As I say, the one with droopy wings.
he just literally turned it into soup.
Yes. No, don't put them in an oven. I used to have, when I did commissions, I had a converted wardrobe. So what I did was I had basically mesh shelves all the way. And then down at the bottom, I had a fan heater, literally. And it used to just blow air up. And it used to come out and then it vented out the top because it had a grill on the top. So it used to come through the shelves. And it wasn't on hot though, but it was probably around about 20 degrees in there. It's quite warm. But definitely not hot air going through, and I used to do it. So I paint a model, and because I was building lots at that time, they would just sit in there at different racks. It was literally like an oven, and I'll just flick it on there, and it would be on all day, and just pop them in there. So it's just on a slow, just air blowing through, and it's great because then that way you could literally dry off the model in about an hour. So good old days. Sean says, Phil and crew, I have an Iwata HPCS Badger Patriot. He's got an Iwata and a Badger Patriot 105 and a Badger, what's that, a SOTAR 2020 and an HS Infinity Plus 2-in-1. Is the playing 2-in-1 worth getting? If so, what's your take on it? Well, the 2-in-1 just means it's the needle combo set that comes with it, but the Infinity airbrush is actually a very nice airbrush. I have a collection of them myself. I've sort of fallen out in love with it because I'm using a cheapy thing at the moment and I actually really like it. But the thing is, like we were saying, that the nice thing with the H&S airbrush is you can take the nozzle off, you can change them out, swap them around, and it literally do it blindfolded in seconds, whereas the others are a little bit more fiddly and everything else. But I must admit, my go-to airbrush is still my Procom, which is sat there, dried out, full of paint. It'll be fine. And I use the PS270, and it's half the price of an Infinity. So yeah, that's my go-to airbrush at the moment. It just really get on with it. It works for me. It's probably as weird as it sounds, out of all the airbrushes I've got, and to be honest, not quite as much as a whore as Matt is, but getting them on for it, I don't think I quite top his collection of airbrushes. But I've got over there a pile of airbrushes, and a lot of them are more expensive than what I'm using now, and I prefer the one I'm using, the Procon one. The 270 is a fantastic airbrush, does absolutely everything, and I haven't found anything yet it doesn't like doing. And I still don't really clean it. I never take the nozzle off, and it just keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. And we're now, what, 2 years with it? And it's still on the original seals. It's still on the original needle nozzle combo. Nothing's failed. And it gets used every day. And I'm bad with it.
Thing is, if he's got that eye water, then why do you want the H&S? I don't think you need it. It's just, I can't say because this is a bit pot kettle here, because obviously how many brushes I've got, but it seems a bit of a pointless. I don't think you're going to gain anything by getting an Infinity when you've got the eye water. Do you?
No.
I think it's just a nice to have a second airbrush thing, isn't it?
Well, that'd be his fourth, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah, that's it. He's got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it'd be 4 if he has this one.
I mean, that Sotar airbrush, the Badger Sotar, is a very good airbrush. I think it's more for inking, if I remember the reviews on it.
Yeah.
So if you're spraying sort of MRP type paint, I think it'd be brilliant. It's got to be really thin. I don't think you'll get acrylics through it. Again, the what was it? The other one, a Badger Patriot, was it 105? That's just like a run-of-the-mill standard, everyday airbrush, I think. So I don't know. Really. I don't know if it's worth doing or not.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing is with airbrushes, it's one of those things. They're very nice. And you can get totally carried away and pay a fortune for one and get no real difference out of it from a mediocre one. You know, I do believe you pay for what you get. I don't like these really cheap Chinese ones, because I've done it and we've done tests on them before and all the rest of it. And they work fantastically the first 10 times you use them. But a couple of years down the line, they fall apart because the internals tend to be crap metal. But, you know, it is what it is. You can buy an airbrush for 10 quid off of eBay and I'll be able to paint a model with it. No problem at all.
Yeah.
You know, but as I said, longevity of it, you can just usually tell by the weight of it and all the rest of it. So, but if you buy once, you buy right, you're normally good. But one of those things, airbrushes, they're very nice. They look nice. There's a nice rack of them over there and all the rest of it. But I don't use any of them. I literally use one airbrush these days. That's a stupid thing, you know. So, but if you can, why not? It's a nice airbrush. The Infinity is a beautiful airbrush. It's a lovely looking airbrush and it does work very well. My only downside to it is if you want to put a Mac valve on it, it's something like 50 quid and it doesn't work very well. It's not like a good one. It doesn't go like 0 to 100. The new ones do 0 to 100%, but the old ones used to do 30 to 100%. Well, I want the first 30%, not the bloody 30% onwards. But I did have it out with them and all the rest of it, so hopefully they did learn from it. John says he's just seen the 148 109 Von Warner issue on what's that, King Kit this morning. 3 pre-owned in there apparently if you want one.
There you go.
King Kit.
King Kit.
Phil, I still want to buy a bottle of Future Clear from you. I mailed you about it yesterday, no answer. You won't till I'm officially at work tomorrow. Just do the thing is at weekends I don't do the normal. I usually just do the other ones. But do you want to buy a bottle? Why don't you just buy the new one? It's the same thing. It's exactly the same as the old ones. There's no
and it'll cost you less.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, mine are classically done. Matt says from Wing That Wings website. Where's the rest of it? Oh yeah, due to New Zealand government relations combating the spread of COVID-19, Wing That Wings is temporarily closed. Unfortunately, no orders can be shipped until late April, probably longer. Yeah, we know that one, but there's another rumour going around at the moment saying that they're closing down that side and the World War I replicas as well.
Yeah.
Apparently that's I think I'm hoping, I know I'm not because that sounds bad, but the way you read it can be almost read two ways, because it's saying about their restoration side with the World War I aircraft and making, you know, the replicas and that, or are they talking about the kits? You know, that's the thing.
You know what I mean, it's saying it, but where New Zealand is actually on the globe, you know, like the restoration side of it, it's not like, I presume, unless you're in New Zealand, or do they actually ship them around to do air displays out of New Zealand?
I don't know. I mean, hasn't Kermit Weeks bought one? They do fit in a shipping container.
Well, yeah, it might have done. But I'm just saying, no, if that company was in the States or somewhere in Europe, and you've got some mileage out of doing the air show circuits, probably the States would be better, to be honest. It would probably be a sustainable business for doing it, but I'm not sure how they work it for obviously flying them and what they do with them when they've built them. So, New Zealand is a bit out the way, isn't it, to be honest?
Yeah.
As John and Lynn are finding out, trying to get home.
Yeah, is he home yet?
I don't know.
Last seen where? Where was he? Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, he was in Kuala Lumpur.
He was moaning it's hot. I've got a vision of him going around fully dressed with a knotted hanky on his head going, God, it's hot in here.
That's it, yeah. That's it. Coat on.
Yeah, that's it. He's got a big duffel coat on and everything. He's got his hat. He's got the lot,
But yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of how they work the restoration side of that business. So did they do it was it just for themselves, or could people have like commissions built, so to speak, and
I don't know too much about it. I just know it's Peter Jackson's hobby, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, they do sell them because the RAF Museum have got a couple of them. I think the RAF Museum swapped. It was a bit controversial because they had some genuine French stuff, I think, genuine.
Oh, yeah.
They did a swap for a couple of replicas, but their Albatross, the RAF Museum sent a real engine to them, and they basically built an Albatross around it.
Right, okay.
But I was looking at it at the weekend, it is a separate limited company, but there was some fraud. One of their employees basically did a huge amount of fraud, and he's gone to prison for it. And a lot of people have said online, there's news in New Zealand, news. No one has ever put a link on it.
Yeah.
That's what's making me sort of think, sit tight, wait and see what happens. It could be a corporate restructure. That's often how these things end up, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's why I don't want to start adding to the scaremongering about kits and people running out and going buying loads of kits because of it's available and all the rest of it. But I've heard everything from they've stopped everything and they're not going to reopen, right the way through to, like we were saying, a bit of restructuring being had, so they might delay things like the Lancaster and that because they can't afford to do it at the moment, and hopefully it'll come out later on, to things where it's all just Pete Tong and it's carrying on as always. It's not a problem. So that's the thing. It's just that a couple of people I've spoken to about it as well, who usually are right, I have to give them that, they've said that they're going, so that the company's not sustainable at the current rate. But it may be that, as I say, I know people talk about it like Peter Jackson will throw money into it, but normally it's not just one person, it's normally other investors in these companies and things like that. So if they want to get their money out, then it's different. It's not as straightforward, but we will see. That's why I don't really want to get involved with the thing about it until we see. When they say we're doing this, we will have a good old conversation about it. But until then, we're all just speculating. It's not helpful.
No, it's not.
Where do we find Nathan's Tornado video build? It's up on the daily shows. If you go back through them, you'll see that they're all in there, no problem at all. Members can find them. They're in the jet area. It's pinned, and I will sort them out once we get going. I'll get a few photos off of Nathan when he's sorted with it, and we'll get a proper section put up for it later on as well.
Yeah, I've done thumbnails for part 2, weirdly. I just need to thumbnail the other ones. Yeah. And I'll put it, I just need to work out where to put it to make it as easy for you as possible, don't I?
Yeah, no, it's fine, no problem.
It's the bank holiday, so
yeah. Anyway, somebody called Ron Milden, I don't know, never heard of him. Anyway, says, hi, it's me. Probably a question for Nathan, building the Hobby Boss Romanian, surprise, surprise. What's that? An IAR80, and the colour call-out for the green is RLM83.
Yeah.
I've got AK's Air RLM83. It's blue. Help.
It shouldn't be. It should be green. Try stirring it. Try stirring it a bit more.
Yeah.
Keep stirring until it turns green.
RLM 83 on the Hataka set is dark green.
Yep.
So not AK Airs blue.
It's not blue by any stretch. I think there's kind of like a back into look at the colours. There is a funny blue in. It's not like an official colour, but AK Real Colours have put it in their range, and it's like a really, really, really dark blue. But I think that's RLM 84. Let me get my colour charts out. 1 second.
Get the colour chart. It definitely should be green 83.
Yes.
Definitely.
Apparently, they're saying here we're back to Mr. Von. He was known as the one that got away. He's the only German PMW to escape and make his way back to Germany and started fighting again. He was killed in 1941.
All right.
There you go. The Duxford 109 landed near East Dean in East Essex.
Did in a farmer's field or something. There was a really thingy one about this Zeppelin as well. We put a little video on the Zeppelin, a massive, proper, really big Zeppelin that it got sort of damaged, shall we say, and it was losing altitude, so they had to crash it. Because they was trying to get it back to either France or Belgium, I think, but it was no way it was going to make it. So we turned it around and crashed in the field, and then obviously they scuttled it, shall we say, because it was like cutting edge technology at the time. They set it all on fire and everything, and then they went on knocking on people's doors to sort of give themselves up. Nobody opened them. So, quite funny.
Right, it's nearly ready.
Go on then, but
This is like the Aeromaster colour charts. An RLM 83 is a light green.
yeah.
And I think this is where the confusion comes from. Ah, these are the Merrick ones, which I think anyone's brave if they argue against these ones. This RLM 83 here is dark green. I know this is like stupid showing colours, but RLM 83 is a dark green.
So it's no way blue.
It's not blue, it's definitely green.
There's an RLM question mark over here, which is a sky colour. I'm just trying to get a green paint next to it that's from the Tamiya range to show you where we are on the colour spectrum. It's not a million miles off, sort of XF61. It's dark green, and then this one is XF81, which is kind of closer to RLM 82, but it's definitely not blue.
No.
Oh.
But the massive confusion comes in is when you've had other companies putting RLM 83 out as a light green.
Yeah.
So these late war ones don't have to cause a lot of confusion, but I think anyone who's going to argue against the Merit colour charts is going to have to go away and really sort of show where they've got their information from for me to be convinced that they're wrong. There is this funny dark blue colour floating around. It's funny how new colours come out sort of 80 years after the event, isn't it? So definitely green. But it's in the Hataka range.
Yeah, but
Very good.
in
It's
there,
saying here apparently he crashed that Mr. Von. It was engine failure.
yeah, okay.
Is that not just professional pride from the German pilot saying my engine failed, that's why they got me? Isn't that like Formula 1 drivers are like that, aren't they?
Yes.
And they slam into the arm coat as a mechanical fault before anything, or as someone else's fault first.
I've got one here. Hi, or does anyone do a 148 scale Hawker Hurricane Mark II-C?
Airfix, don't they?
Airfix do that. I think, can't you get that out of the Airfix 2C? The C refers to the wing, doesn't it?
What's the one that I did? Was mine the 2C?
No, your one was the Mark 1.
Was it the Mark 1?
The Mark 2C, is that the one with the desert scheme on the front?
With the trop front. The
Trop?
one we were talking about, yeah.
Yeah, Airfix do it. And I'm not sure if Italeri didn't do it at some point, one of theirs. Just go in our store in Airfix, it might be...
Oh, I'm trying. Come on, what's going on? Let's get on with it. Why is it so slow? Probably because I'm online in about 8 places. Come on. Internet's crap today.
It's slow, isn't it?
It is.
Actually, the picture's not good. You know me looking at you and Nathan, it's quite clear today.
Where is it? Where is it?
Find it.
That's the 1B.
Perhaps it's that one then, it might be a 1B. Nathan, scale mates, quick.
Sorry.
We've only got the 1B in the store.
Right, that must be it then.
I blame stock control.
Yeah, there's no beer, is there? Hurricane.
Looking at 148.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not that. You're right, it's a 1B. Mark 1, well, Mark 1 Trop.
Hasegawa had one.
Hasegawa. Didn't Italeri have one?
Probably a bloody Reeboks from the
really
Hasegawa kit.
Hasegawa keeps coming. Italeri 148 Mark II-C.
There you go.
Amazon.
Let me
That's
just...
the deserty one. Yeah, it's on the Italeri one. It's the one with the desert one on the front.
I knew the one with it. Let me just check on our suppliers. Is somebody after one, or do they just want to know who...
I don't know, I was just asking about it, about if anyone did one.
Actually, I don't think the Italeri Hurricanes are a bad kit. It's a bit like their Stukas. I don't think they're too shoddy.
No, the Italeri Hurricane came out and it was really well received.
Yeah.
I do remember that being a good one.
Again, it's whether it's still in production or not. Because Italeri tend to do a bit like Revel and Airfix and do a run and then drop it. I've got a Mark 1 Trop. I don't think it's out, to be honest. I think again it's looking second-hand market, I think. Unless somebody's got one they want to give up.
So for second hand, I'd always recommend King Kit.
No, it's not. It's not in production.
I've never had a bad second hand kit off King Kit with missing parts or anything dodgy.
No, it's not in production at the minute from Italeri. Just the Mark 1 Trop, and then they bring in the Mark 1 Battle of Britain one out as well. Yeah, here we go.
Nigel Tocknell says there's lots of debate on Brit Modeler about RLM 83. There's lots of debate on there, full stop.
I think it's one of those things like...
Danny says the Italeri one is quite a challenge.
Is it? I know the Airfix one's lovely, but I know the Italeri was well received at the time because it was quite a bit of it was one of those aircraft that was badly underkitted, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In 48 anyway. Just having a mooch now at my AK Real Colour book. I think they've reignited this blue debate on 83.
Trevor says that Hobbycraft did a Night Fighter Mach 2C. We'll hold your breath with Hobbycraft then.
I'd give that one a one.
That might be a handful.
To put it politely.
Right. this RLM83 being blue, it says there's some evidence it was blue, but no information has come to light to show its widespread use.
Anyway, what does it matter? Ron's making something else anyway. Just
It's
saying
a
it should be that
dark
colour. So, yeah, that just makes it even worse. So, Ron, I would just do it green. Forget what that AK's telling you. Go with the green. What do you think of ICM kits? I've just started their HE11, HE111 H3, and it has fit issues. I can't comment on that kit because I've never built it, but everything else of ICM's I've built, which is quite a bit these days, I've done the MiG-25 and the Gladiator, a few bits, has been absolutely exceptional. No problem at all. I'm surprised you haven't fit issues with it because it's one of their new ones, and all their other stuff I've touched has been literally flawless.
To be honest, I've not heard fit issues with that kit. I have heard a few with the A26 and B26. The Invader's got a few. Totally, like, you can't think it, but I don't know. We're having trouble. Bless you, with it fitting. Which bit? Be interesting to know, because we need to build some of them at some point for the Luftwaffe SIG.
Yeah, Andy's got one.
Andy has got one.
It's not the first. I have heard people say it's trickier than the other ones, but no one's ever been specific with me about.
I've still never built a JU88 in my life. I'm still holding on to that. I'm probably the only person who's never built one.
Not many people can say that.
No. I've done, as I say, 111s like that, HE111s, but I've never done JU88, weirdly.
You done a Dornier 17?
I think I have somewhere along the line, yeah. I've done a 17, but I have never done an 88, and I don't know how I've got away with that for so long.
No.
Richard here is saying he's built the Hankel 111 and it fits like a glove. So I wonder if it's down to one of those like moulding.
Yeah,
flash
when you've got it. Yeah, perhaps it's a flash issue as well. Watch your flash.
Or paint.
Yeah, tolerances.
Tolerances again. You got to be careful with that. I don't know because I've not built an ICM kit. You'd know more of that than
the only ones I can say is like the only fit issue I had on the MiG-25. John, when he built his, had the same thing, and that's that little one behind the nose wheel door as it joins the fuselage. There's a tiny little something going on there, and I couldn't work out what it was, so I ended up cutting the tab off and just doing it manually. But the Gladiator, I had nothing at all. I can't fault that kit anywhere. It just went together. It was literally one of those where you chuck glue at it and it falls together. Really nicely done. So yes, be interested to do that.
Mark asked a question from about 20 minutes ago. What's the best 72 scale Lancaster? Hasegawa or Airfix or Revell?
Airfix.
Yeah, so I was going to say.
I said the Airfix one. The Hasegawa one's very expensive.
Yeah, I was going to say the Hasegawa one's over expensive.
And you've built the Revell one.
I've done the Revell one. Can't fault really the Revell one, but usual thing, the engine nacelles, getting them straightened in there is always a bit of a handful.
I'd say the Airfix.
Yeah, I've never built the Airfix one, apart from the old one.
Yeah, that don't count.
Stephen says he can't seem to find X20 thinner 250mm for less than 19 quid.
See?
What would you'd expect as the best price? I can't find a US supplier of it. Is it readily available at the moment, Matt?
X20?
Yeah.
Or X28?
No, 20.
The enamel one, I've got no idea with the enamel one because we can't stock it.
Yeah.
I get it from Hong Kong posted. I think I'm happy if I pay £9 to £10, not as much as that.
No. Because he's saying $19 out of China for it. Check Hong Kong.
Well,
Hong Kong tends to be a bit clever like that.
So $19 is what's 15, 16 pounds. It's not a million miles out. And shipping prices have gone up the past month or two, haven't they? Because there's no aeroplanes flying at the moment. It's not a million miles out. But it's one of those. Sometimes you can't get it anywhere, and then it suddenly pops up on my eBay alert that it's for sale.
Just, like the Tamiya enamels. What, like guys in chat, what countries actually are they available in? Besides, obviously, Japan. Nothing else that. Can you hear that noise?
What was it? Sounded like an RC plane going past.
I have no idea.
Are the drones out checking you're all inside your houses?
Yeah.
They've got a strimmer out or
It sounded like a radio control plane zip past your
It
shed.
does.
I couldn't work out if you had a bee go past your microphone, because that's what happens here sometimes. You get a bumblebee go past. Like,
Yeah, that's well, lad.
How do you make sprue glue? Sprue goo. You literally, if you go onto the tutorials on the Flory Models site, I've done a video on how to make it. Very straightforward. Just go tutorials and it's in one of the bits in there. It's on the main site. It's free. You can see it in there. Apparently, Von Warner, as an aircraft, is in the Kent Battle of Britain Hawking Museum. Hello guys, what's your opinion on the Armour Hobby Hurricane?
Oh, they're cracking little kits. I have to get some of them. Gary's got some in. Because you never reviewed one. They're brilliant.
No, I must admit I can't comment because I've never built one.
Yeah, I'll get you one to review. I'll get some in.
Cool.
That came up a couple of, I think a week and a half ago, and Jamie Hagger said he's built 2 and he absolutely rated it like 5 out of 5. Top little kit. I quite fancy one myself, if I'm honest.
There you go. You can have the review sample.
Because that's not a bad deal, and I'll do that then.
Right. Greetings from the USA. Why is there no affordable F-35C kits? Because the only one you can get, as far as I'm aware, will be the Kitty Hawk one.
Yeah, it's the same with the Bs, isn't it? They're kind of, everyone seems to do the A.
Yeah.
Jan says the Armour Hobby is great, and both the Yak and the Hurricane.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but people absolutely giving that 5 out of 5. Everyone that built one has loved it.
Yeah, well, I'll get some of them in this week. I'll have a word with Gary tomorrow when he's back, and because I know he's got some in stock, so I'll get them in. Because the Night Fighter, is it the Night Fighter version's just come out, I think. God, that noise is proper bugging me.
Is it not a drone? Is someone not flying a drone outside?
No, I think they either strimming or they're drilling or they're doing something, but because it's just
there.
Somebody's going to come through the wall of his shed in a minute.
Be an escaped German POW tonight.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Mr. Bond comes through.
Dig out, it's taken him 80 years.
How much costs a cheap airbrush? Well, trust me, if you go on Fleabay, you can find them for like a tenner for a cheap thing. Literally.
They're not worth it though.
They're not worth it. I've seen them on there, a full kit with everything for $9.99. But yeah.
I got 2 with my compressor. Like 2 of these Chinese airbrushes, and they're like knockoff badges.
Yeah.
And I used them once and thought I'm not doing that again.
Well, put it this way, I was approached by a company about 2 years ago who wanted to do like a branding deal with me. And they were like, you know, we can do you an airbrushes, and we start from literally our budget range to their most expensive. Bearing in mind, just to point out how the quality must have been, their budget airbrush cost to me, including VAT and everything else, was £3.80. So you can imagine what you're going to get for £3.80, you know? And then obviously their most expensive airbrush they did was £27 to me at trade. And I'm thinking, that's got to be a quality item. I should buy 100 and stick them out. But clearly I passed on the offer.
£3.80, you can't even get
their cheapest airbrush to me was £3.80. So, and that included having laser etched Flory models on the side of them as well. So I would have definitely been paid for that. So it was really, that's got to be a proper quality item. That has got to be for £3.80.
That's just horrendous.
Yeah, they're going to last long, aren't they?
£3.80. You pay more than that for 4 cans of beer.
I know, it's just, yeah, crazy. And the minimum spend was only something like, I think it was under £1,000 to do the entire thing. But yeah, it was like, no, you're okay, we'll pass on that. Thank you very much.
How to ruin a brand name in one easy step.
Yeah, that's it.
Release some shoddy airbrush.
The guys, a lot of them are talking about different types of airbrush in there. And again, like I always say, I'm not one to be opinionated on what airbrush you should go out and buy, because airbrushes are like cars, you know, as you say, you get used to a certain type, you tend to stick with it perhaps, you know, and as I say, if it works for you, stick with it. Don't be swayed to try other people's or anything else, because normally then you just have a feel. And also a lot with airbrushes, it's what we call like muscle memory. So using your airbrush, you have that feel for it. So switching to other people's, you might, oh, this thing's horrible, it's light. Classic example, I've got the AL version of the Evolution airbrush over there, which is the aircraft grade aluminium. It feels cheap and horrible and nasty. I've never got on with it. It's too light. It's great if you have got, and Pix used to love it because it was light, but it's too light. It doesn't feel right in the hand. It feels like it's a piece of plastic. And that's just because it's aircraft grade aluminium instead of the normal stuff they use. So
Mark's made a good point. The Scalaton uses cheap Chinese airbrushes, but I think he services them before he uses them. Like he polishes the needle.
He does, and he changed the seals. He's used beeswax or something
like that.
But I think, sorry mate, if you look now at some of his later vids, he don't really use the cheaper one much anymore.
Right.
So again, I don't think it's worth the effort.
No, when I saw his videos, I thought, all right, that's interesting. I've got 2 of these cheap airbrushes, and I thought, nah, can't be bothered.
It's a bit like Lado making one out of bloody hypodermic needles and bits of this, that, and the other. It's like, why? Why bother?
Yeah, fair point.
Sean's talking about here, about the 270. If he's on about the same 270 as the one I use, the Procon Boy one, because underneath it, Daryl says they're more expensive than that in the UK. No, they're not. We do them on the PM store for 115 quid.
Yep.
So, and that's my daily driver. As I say, I've got airbrushes over there, 300-400 quid, and it's not as good as my Procon Boy, in my opinion. But as I say, I've got really used to it now, and I do like it. Restorations are multi-year projects running into 4,000 to millions. I expect they are.
Yep.
So the Peter Jackson Albatross at RAF Hendon's amazing thing to see. But World War I is his passion, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if Peter Jackson is a wealthy man, it doesn't necessarily mean he's got millions of dollars just sat around in bank accounts ready to keep his business afloat, is it?
No.
Could be all tied up and...
Yeah, that's it. I mean, as I say, a lot of these companies have investors and things like that involved with them as well, and it's,
We'll see. We'll probably know by the end of the week. We'll have a better idea. Hopefully. Hopefully it's good news and it's all...
Yeah, it's all been blown out of proportion, I'm hoping,
So you keep speculating, but until they say something official, then nobody knows, do they?
No.
What's the best setup for an overhead? What's the best camera for overhead view? Tony, that's up to whatever you use. Again, cameras are like airbrushes. I'm quite a fan of Panasonic and Canon. I've got 2 Canon, 2 Panasonic. Take your pick. But again, it's one of those. It depends on what setup you're running and everything else. I run 5 cameras. So it's all very complicated. That's the difference. It's the only webcam I've got is the one, which is the one over there.
Mine's just the webcam on it.
And mine, obviously, because he's just the webcam on a stand.
What's it?
Like you said, if you set it up properly, you're quite...
last week, before I changed the cameras all around again, I had the webcam in the spray booth, and honestly, I couldn't tell that much difference from a 300 quid Canon in there. But I did spend a bit of time playing with it. What was it? The 920, isn't it? The Logitech ones. If you set them up properly and spend a little time playing with it and all the rest of it, and getting the white balance correct and things like that and the colours right, actually they are really, really good. If you set them up to be shooting at 1080 at 60, they are really, really, really good, I must admit.
Yeah.
But over on here now, I don't think it's even set up correctly. It's okay, I think it's all right, but I haven't set the focals and all the various bits on it. But it's...
Because you used Logic Capture, didn't you?
If you use Logic Capture software for the webcams, lock the focus, don't have it on autofocus, and lock the white balance and the colours and things like that. And then if you save it, it will remember it every time you turn your computer on as well. Because otherwise, if you don't, it goes to default every time you turn it on. And make sure as well, because I noticed Matt needs to do his the other day, is that you want to set it to 50 hertz or 60 depending where you are in the world. Otherwise you get the lines, because it's the refresh rate with the electrics.
Yeah, this one, look.
Yeah.
Is it doing it?
It's doing it now. You've got those lines going down. Matt needs to change his over to the other mode because he's in the wrong one.
Yeah.
But you can see it's scrolling. It's the refresh rate is playing up. You've got that sort of fuzzy with it. That's all that is. But again, if you spend a little bit of time with the old webcams and you buy them on Amazon Day for next to nothing.
Yeah. So, failing that, your smartphone's a really good video camera.
Yeah.
If you can get like a tripod clamp adapter for a smartphone, you can get good results with your camera.
That's what you've been using for your vids, isn't it?
Yeah. First part of the tornado video I shot on the webcams, but because my computer's old, it kept getting lots of frame rate. It just kept dropping frames. So then I just this is embarrassing. Here's my
homemade rig.
Just a little bit of brass and some wooden thing, and then if I want to raise the camera, I just stack a load of coffee cups and
See, high tech, always the best.
That's without spending a penny, and then I just have my iPhone just sat there. That's why it's really close in.
Yes.
One
but it
coffee
works.
cup,
It's
coffee
dead
work.
handy.
Well, you don't run out of coffee cups to get any higher.
Yeah. You need to lower the table a bit and put the third coffee cup in. But the problem I've been having though with using the iPhone is the colour balance shifts. You might see it when you watch the videos back. It suddenly goes a bit.
Yeah, but again, the trouble is you can lock them all in and everything else.
Yeah.
You know. But the thing is, the guys, you have to appreciate the setup that I've got in here is probably, Christ, I hate to think how many thousands of pounds worth of gear I've got in here to do it. And it does lots of stuff. Like I can go and I can freeze. So look, I'm moving in that. And I've got all these different modes in here. I can go we can do cat video in picture and all of this. And I can do all these various things with it, which normally, to be honest, I don't really use. And as I say, I'm running multiple cameras in here, but it costs an absolute fortune. It's something that I've literally built up over years and years and years with doing it. So I know the frustration some people get, and I get a little bit of flack for it, saying Matt needs a better camera, he needs this, but it's not just a camera. You need a computer, because I'm running through capture cards. We've got multiple capture cards running through 2 computers to do this. I'm running 2 monitors and a laptop. It's not quite as straightforward as I think people think. You just turn this on and away you go. So it is a little bit more in depth. So then to do it as well, you have to babysit all this whilst talking and reading things and seeing how things are going as well. So as I said, it does take a little bit of work. But I know people often say, it's like, oh, you need to also have this, and it's not quite straightforward. It's one of those things where it's a lot of money and everything that gets involved in all of these, and it's the time to do it all. Like I spent 3.5 hours just setting up all the cameras with the white balances, settings and all the rest of it, because I was doing a lot of online. No one saw it, but I was streaming online all afternoon doing it. So, but it's just one of those things. How are the team all doing? We're all doing very well, thank you.
Yeah, very well.
Everyone's fine.
Healthy.
Yeah, everyone's still kicking. We're all good.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the new UV glues now available in the shops, although some are relatively expensive. The black and orange squeeze tubes from Revel are quite good. What do you think? Yes, you mean this. Bondic glues.
Bondic.
Yeah, I do use them. To be honest with you, the thing you have to be wary though is that they're ultraviolet. So if the ultraviolet light doesn't get to it, it will never set. So if you're putting on a canopy and you've pre-painted it, and then you're putting it on, for instance, I see a lot of people do this. The only thing is that it's just on the edge. And actually, if you take it off and feel it after a week, it's still wet inside. So you have to be careful with that. It's fine if you haven't masked it or anything else like that, because the light will penetrate and it all dries and goes hard. It's very good. And I've used it for doing little things like sticking on doors, aerials in the past and stuff like that. It's just that, what's the way to describe it? The gel itself isn't quite like you see on the adverts where they're running over it with cars and with chains and stuff, because it doesn't adhere particularly well to plastic, because it's got nothing to physically bite onto. So if it's a porous surface, you get a fantastic bond with this, but with plastic, actually that's its Achilles heel, because it can't penetrate and actually physically get hold of it. Other things, no problem at all. But for a scale modelling point of view, I find with styrene, it's not very strong. It's no stronger than super glue once it's on, because I have knocked things off before where it's been on here. Because I've tried it with things like pitot tubes and aerials and stuff, thinking it's great. You can just wet and then you put it on, zap it with a light, it's instant grab. But then I find after a couple of days, if you knock it, it'll just fall off. So you do have to be careful on certain things. But I've done it before with gear, you know, to put in the first bit, and then I've gone around it with other things to make it more solid. But they are quite handy for different jobs, especially around the house. Do you ever use them?
No.
Oh,
not,
yeah.
No, I've not. No, I've not tried them. To be honest, we're getting them back in stock. This week they'll be back in because people have been buying them. So yeah.
Yes.
Neil's asked a good question. Are there any model shows in the UK that have not been cancelled yet?
Scale Model Scotland's apparently still on.
Really? I mean, I know Telford, they've been putting a blog out weekly now. They're saying they're building contingencies on what to do. I think Telford said they've got 3 to 4 months before they're committed to on or not.
Right.
But it seems to suggest they're painting in a number of if buts and maybes into their planning. I haven't had Driffield, haven't cancelled yet, but they're in September. But I think model shows are just going to have to follow the wider social distancing, aren't they? And once that's drawn down, we'll start to see model shows remain. But wait and see, really.
Yeah, that's it. It's just a waiting game to see what's what.
Because I know Milton Keynes has been put back to 2021, but I think the problem with the show calendar is if they put shows on at the end of the year, we've had this problem for years now, that the problem with model shows is there's almost too many of them, that the traders can't get to 2 shows in one weekend. So I think that's why Milton Keynes, rather than reschedule and clash with someone in the autumn, they've just knocked it back a year.
Well, the thing is, sorry mate, the Milton Keynes have a problem with is actually the football, because the season's got to finish and it's obviously at the football stadium, so they're going to be Saturdays, Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays. They'll be cramming the games in to get the season over and done with. I know what is it, about 20 games left, is it, or is it 11? I can't remember how many it is for whichever leagues, but obviously you kind of want to get the football seasons finished to know who's going up, who's going down, and all that lot for next season, which will start again in August. If it gets to that point, because they're on about starting it back up and playing behind closed doors and all sorts at some point in July, is it?
Something like that.
It's going to be weird. It's going to be like finish one season and go straight into the other.
Yeah.
I think. So, but obviously that thing is for other sports as well, you know, and other events, and obviously all the festivals have gone. And
well, like F1, they're on about finishing it next year.
Yes. Now they can't. They just can't do anything, can they? Because obviously that as well is a lot of travelling, a lot of logistics to sort out from getting to one country, venue, whatever, to another. So that's just sort of ruined at the minute, isn't it? So again, it's, you know, just dealing with it as it happens, isn't it? Really, take it a week at a time and see where the world's at, I suppose.
I mean, November's still quite a long way off for Telford, isn't it?
It is, but when they've got a thing of organising, it's not like you can get to sort of September or wherever and go, right, we're going to sort of, you just can't, you know, there's a lot to sort out for them and who's coming and what we're doing. And that's something I need to speak to you about, Philip, actually, when we're off the ear.
Oh God.
No, it's just what Leslie said. It's all right, and it was like, oh God, yeah, we did, didn't we? So yeah, sorry, it's a bit cryptic that, but I'll talk to Phil when we've finished.
Right. It's all right. I've got no idea what he's on about either.
Yeah.
Best part of my vacation, I get to watch Phil live. Thank you. RLM 83 emission model paints, or mission model paints 54 is Dunkerlurgen, whatever that is. Apparently the Mark IIc has a bigger engine as well as a taller nose.
Oh, right, okay.
What's the recommendation for an F14 Tomcat 148 scale? To be honest, as weird as it sounds, it'd be the AMK, purely on price. For best kit of ease of build, straightforward, and it's a beautiful kit, is Tamiya. The AMK one is a really nice kit, and for the price, because it's 50 quid, it's right on the money. The Hasegawa one's a little bit longer in the tooth, but still a very, very nice kit. So,
and if you want budget, Hobby Boss, yeah?
Yeah, if you want the budget version, then the Hobby Boss one. Yeah. So yeah, if you were doing a list of right the way through of what the best ones are, then it's Hobby Boss. I would say Hasegawa, AMK, Tamiya. Tamiya is the best one, but you get more options obviously with the AMK kit, and it's a lot cheaper. So that's definitely a nice one. So I'm just trying to keep up with some of these in here. The guy's talking a lot about various things, versions in there for the Mark IIc. Apparently some has guns on it. I thought it was the naval one had the guns, wasn't it? Had the twin guns on it.
Hey, that's a good point. What was the Hurricane? What was that based on?
I thought that was a Mark IIc, but I'm guessing.
Because if it is, then if it's not in the catalogue, it's gone. But Airfix did bring there is a version of the Hurricane. So is that a Mark IIc or a variation of it?
I don't know. I'd have to check. I haven't got a Hurricane book to hand.
I'm very surprised that Airfix not done the one with the big cannons under it, like the one I've the Trump that I've built, the Tank Buster one.
Tank Buster version, yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, I know, it is a nice one, that.
Yeah.
Hi guys, might you consider having a US dollar price option on your website? I'd like to support you guys. That's very nice of you, Ross. I don't know, we haven't thought of that. I don't know if we can have it set up for multiples. I think we can. I don't know, I'll look into that.
Yeah, I don't know. Just to be aware, posting to the States is horrendously expensive. Not what put you off, but just be warned, it is very expensive posting to the States.
Mm-hmm.
Quick question about Tamiya spray paints. It'd be a messy job to answer this, but Ed's been asking, when you get a Tamiya spray paint, the label says 100mm net. Do you actually get 100mm of paint in there?
Yes, you do.
Yes, and then the rest is propellant.
Yeah, the rest of the can's propellant and whatever.
Thinner.
Yeah.
And how cost efficient do we think they might be?
What, if you were to decant it?
I don't know, just said when you effective. A couple of questions at once. So you get 100mm of paint, don't you? That doesn't include the propellant. Just wondering how cost efficient buying the spray over the bottle.
Well, if you're going to decant it, it's a lot of hassle decanting paint. It's messy, it stinks. You might as well just buy a bottle if you're going to do it that way. I know there was a lot used to be back in the days because Tamiya did certain colours that you couldn't get, so you used to decant it. I did. That's why I used to decant their paint. I had this homemade budget out of gaffer tape system where it had like a straw coming off of it and went down, and I used to spray a bit and it's like fumes coming off of it, do it outside, and then a bit more, then you'd watch it do that chemical reaction where it all fizzes and bubbles and everything off, so you're waiting for it to finish before you put the lid on, you know, so leave the lid half closed so it's still got enough to vent, otherwise they'd explode on you. Those were the days. I used to decant their silvers because this TS can silvers were basically like that one, the LP11 is now, because their other one, that like was it X11's bloody awful. It's proper crap.
It's really grainy, isn't it? Or pigmenty.
Yeah. So what
were
sorry, what are their TS range then? Is it lacquer based paint?
Oh yeah. I assume so. It stinks. It might have been the propellant that stunk, but because you can spray it just straight neat then as it comes out the thing.
I've seen Spencer did a thing on it with the silvers, like what you've just said, where he decanted a couple of silvers and sprayed them on one of the videos he did, and he said like because for him they were the best sort of silvers to do when you decant the cans. But obviously you ain't got to do now because you can buy the LP range. Yeah. But I was just wondering what the paint was in them, but I presume it'd be lacquer based.
Yeah, I think they're lacquers definitely stink. But I never used to thin them. I used to decant it straight into a bottle and then like have the top off. And when you stop, you watch it bubble. It sort of rotates itself, and when it stops, you're like, right, chuck it in the airbrush and spray it. But if you do it too soon, it does it on your model. It's still fizzing away on your model. It's proper gnarly stuff. Yeah. But once it was on, it was great. But I used to use it all the time back in the 90s, really, before I sort of switched over to everything else. But it was always a good way of doing it.
Right.
But again, for the mess, the horror, oh God, it's a horrible thing to try and do. And it stinks. I've got a good one here. I've lost it. Where's it gone, Naz? Where were we? What model do you think is best to start the hobby off with? And seeing as your username is anything on two wheels, I would say a Tamiya bike kit, because they are all beautiful. They go together really, really well. It's a lot more mechanical doing the painting of it as well. So, you know, obviously you've got these screws and it screws in. If you have a look at the bike build we've done, I'm going to have to do another bike build soon because I really do enjoy doing them. It's very much, you know, you build it like a real bike. So you do all the painting work separately and then it all comes together at the end. It's a really nice way of working. Can you build a Kobe Stuka plane? What, the Lego-y type ones?
Yeah.
Did do that, didn't we? We had a few of those in.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
That's it, because they used to have a tie-in with the Bovington Tank Museum. I don't know if they still do, but apparently, weirdly, they did all the designs for them or something. There's a weird on that one. So yes, no, we like those ones. Where are we? The guys talking down in there. Guys are still talking about Skyhawks. I must have missed that one. Talking about esky kits. Oh, some of them are all right.
Yeah.
Basic, but they're there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some esky kits are brilliant. Some are not.
Yeah.
So check your reviews before you buy them, isn't it?
Yeah.
You ready for a Molotov Chrome pen question?
Yes, because I did read it a second ago, but go on, then read it out.
So Phil, he said, I've just tried spraying Molotov Chrome using the advice you gave when spraying your truck. However, you're now saying to thin it.
Yes.
Can you tell me to what extent you should thin it and what pressure? And whether to use thin or thick coats?
Right, so when I first did it, obviously it's the first time I'd ever done it, didn't know much about it, so we did the truck. So at that point, I wasn't thinning it, I was going straight out the bottom and putting it down and putting down thick coats, because as you'll notice, obviously you've tried it, you get a chemical reaction. When this stuff first goes on, it fizzes and bubbles, a bit like when you decant paint. It does the same thing, and then it just turns to a mirror. You know, before it's like magical watching this stuff. So that's what I used to think. You needed to put enough down for it to self-level and to mirror. So at that point, that was my advice to do it. Now, though, I've been playing with it a lot more, and I've done a load more things with it recently, that I tend to thin it. So I use self-leveling thinners. I think it works fantastic for it. So I usually just put a few drops into it, not tons, and I don't even know really what ratios it's probably at. It's probably maybe it's probably less than a 50-50 mix, to be honest. But I'm definitely putting probably between, say, 30%, 25%, 30% thinners into it. And it just makes it go. The coverage is so good, you don't have to worry about it not covering, because it will. But you want to make sure it's got enough on there so it's got time to lift away from the surface, so all the particles can lay flat, because that's all it's doing. It's literally this thing where the pigment into it. If it's standing upright, you're going to get metallic. If they all lay flat onto each other like that, it'll be a mirror. So you need it so it's got time to flatten out. If you tried it with like a really quick drying thinner, like rapid thinners, it'd all dry like that and you get like a grey sparkly effect. But if it's got time to level out and all the plates to sit on top of each other, it goes like a mirror. So that's what it is. But also I found it covers very, very well, and I've thinned it and thinned it and thinned it, and it really, really does cover. The thing is, if you over thin it, I think it's got too much thinners into it then, and it dries a little bit too quick. So yes.
David's asking, do we make any adjustments for the warmer weather when painting?
Well, when we had that proper heat wave 2 years ago, if you remember, I would spray in the morning early before 10:30 because it got so hot. It was just uncomfortable to do it, especially when you're wearing a respirator and all the rest of it.
I was going to say, what warmer weather? which week's that of the year?
That one 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But no, a couple of years ago, when we really had that proper hot spell, I must admit, I used to spray first thing in the morning down here. I used to get down here early and spray, and I'll be done by like 10. Because otherwise, it's just unbearable to be in here with all the lights, cameras, and everything going on. You're wearing a respirator and spraying. But, you know, again, you can add a little bit more retarder if you're an acrylic sprayer. That will help. If you're lacquers, it's not so much of a problem. But if you're spraying acrylics and it's very, very hot, then yeah, you maybe want to put in a little bit retarder just to help it go and keep it flowing.
They're saying not just painting, do we any other adjustments to overall modelling? I think I do less modelling when the weather gets nicer. I want to be out more. Yeah. But my garage is either cold or cold. So
yeah, you're quite lucky. I think when where my shed is in the garden, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the peak, the sun is directly, my door is near it, right. And it's shining in the door, and it's like, it is a sweat box in here. It's a proper cooler. So it's a bit, it's not nice.
You know that scene in Ghostbusters where it's behind the door, and it's a big light all the way around it? It's like that in there.
Yeah.
So we don't get the extremes of weather that you get in the States or other countries, do we?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't. In this garage, it's either, it just, at the moment, I've got the heat, I keep putting the heater on and off. It's absolutely freezing today.
You definitely don't in the northwest.
We just get grey.
Grey. So.
Things says the fit issues he had on his HE111 with a significant gap between the engine nacelles on top of the wings. A friend of his had the same issue as well.
Oh, right.
Something to look out for.
So we're not building one, we don't know.
No, perhaps we'll have to have a go at one.
Yes.
RC UK scale model says he uses a Samsung on iPhone. Samsung on iPhone? How does that work? For my YouTube videos, and it does wonders. Ooh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure that's not... Can you stream live to YouTube? Yes, because we're doing it right now. Want to order super metallics from Mr. Hobby. Will they ship paints to the US? Yes, we can, but it costs. Can we... Super metallics can go normal, can they?
Yeah, everything could be shipped,
Yeah, no, we can do that. Yeah. Sure, yeah, no problem at all.
Courier probably, but yeah, it can be shipped.
Stefan, is there some of your videos where you weather metal plane fill? Yeah, take your pick. All of mine get weathered in one shape or form.
The bear's a good one for that.
Yeah, bear, that would be one.
Yeah,
the bear.
I was thinking of the MiG-21.
Yeah, I was going to say they've all had it. Hold on, let's have a quick look through memory lane.
To be fair, the Gladiator didn't get much weather in.
No, the Gladiator we kept mint because I wanted that to be nice. So yeah, the bear, which we gave. Probably down in one of these. That's before weathering. There we go, weathering. So wash, and then we did post weathering on it as well, and I airbrushed it. Again, we didn't go overboard because for a scale effect, I didn't want it to be too in your face with it. Have I got any more of it done? It'll be in the last part of it's got loads of it. But yeah, when we were going through on here, it has got weathering onto it, and underneath as well, we did the black from the engines coming off, and I post airbrushed smoke onto the actual panel lines and riveting detail as well to give it that sort of look. And down on here you can see various things. We used a little bit of oils around it as well, just to go round. But again, because of the scale, you don't want to go over the top because otherwise it won't look right. And again, MiG-21, wasn't it? Where's the MiG-21?
Did that Starfighter, weren't it?
Yeah, Starfighter as well. Where's the Starfighter?
That's the one where you used AK Extremes for the first time, wasn't it?
Yes.
Because that one's Vallejo, isn't it? That's the Vallejo metal colours.
Yeah. So the MiG as well, that had a bit of a thing all over, various things. Again, try to keep it subtle, really.
Thing is, I mean, I did it with my Lightning. You get such a nice metallic, nice metal looking finish. It seems a shame to weather it.
Yeah.
It's that magpie shiny effect. It's like, oh, I don't want to ruin it kind of thing.
Sabre.
Sabre, yeah.
Sabre we did. So Sabre.
Yeah.
Sabre we did what we call polishing as well. So we went, and some of it's post. Oh look, Molotov pen. So yeah, had a wash and we went round it with oils as well to go through. So we used obviously for washes as well. And again, down in here we use oils, and we used it like post shading around on the panels and things. You can see it in these areas running down and things like that to go right the way through it. So again, it was one of those ones where it's a little bit of everything, just trying to keep it subtle though. I don't weather as heavy as I suppose a lot of people do, but I tend to like them having that sort of used but not abused look. So again, classic army, you see this is like a mirror, but it's not. That's the whole point. It still looks quite flat, but actually, as you can see, it depends what angle you catch these things at, and that's what I tend to do these days. And to be honest, when I took this photo, I was deliberately trying to get the reflection. But the thing is, you see it like that, but when you look at the wing from a top angle, it'll just look flat. But say you catch it at the right angle, it's just that way of getting the sheens and things to look nice from different angles.
You ever built the Academy?
Yeah, with the brake in it, with the engine, yeah. I did that one in the other markings options for this. That's why I didn't really want to do it again, because I've already done it, you know.
What's it like as a kit?
To be honest, it's not bad, you know. It was my sort of, it gives the Hasegawa kit a run for its money, because you get the engine detail with it. There's not a great deal in them.
Then it makes you wonder why it's not sort of it's been in production for a while from Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done some quite nice kits that you can't get anymore. They're not in the catalogue, and it makes you wonder why.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
While we're on PM Store, are we getting the this is for Richard, are we getting the Airfix Mark 1 in 48 scaling?
Hurricane?
The Spitfire, sorry.
Yeah, they're all being the Mark 1 Hurricane, Spitfire, yeah.
All Battle of Britain stuff.
Yeah, I've just... Airfix a pretty stock item for us anyway, so... Some shiny red boxes, they're lovely.
Can't beat an Airfix Spitfire, can you?
No.
Yes. Peter's just saying here about giving the sad passing of Sir Sterling Moss, obviously, yesterday, wasn't it?
I know, it did bad though, 90, wasn't it? It's
That's
not
it,
bad
he did
in
alright.
on this.
And after his crashes and that, he's lucky to be alive in that age of racing. I thought they all died.
A lot of them did.
You had big balls to be a driver in those days. He says he now fancies building the 1955 300 SLR. So, yes,
right.
Very nice.
Does
he know anybody who does this kit? Oh, I don't know.
That's the next question, God.
Yeah.
No, I was about to say, is it a kit of it? I don't know. That's a great thing you've got on that I can see for our Airfix. Sold out.
Yeah.
Okay. Click to what we've got in stock. Just talking of stock, paint wise, because I know we've sold a load of paint again. There's a Tamiya restock coming in this week. Hopefully it might be here tomorrow. Another Attacker one's coming in, which again hopefully will be tomorrow, Wednesday. And also I need to do another guns one. So hopefully this week we'll have a lot more restocks in. Paint and some bobs.
David's asking if you're ever going to carry aftermarket parts.
We've said about this before. The trouble is, taking on aftermarket, you know, we are a very small company in the great scheme of the big boys. So for us to do that, that's a hell of a lot of money. We would have just sat on a shelf on a whim that one day somebody might buy it. We can get in any aftermarket you want, basically. You know, if you need us to get it, shout. We'll see if we can get hold of it. But for us to keep it in stock is a hell of a lot of tied up. You know, and at the end of the day, it is a business that likes to make money. I know it doesn't, but it would be nice if it did.
We do try. But get, like say, if you're talking the Edard range of stuff, it's just huge. It's massive.
Yeah. You think about how many they release every month alone,
And
you know.
we need the unit just to store Edard aftermarket. I mean, we did discuss on another show about master Pito tubes, which wouldn't be a bad one to do, and that could be a possibility. Again, if you're talking Aries and stuff like that, they're quite big. Sort of what they do. There's a lot of them, and it's like Phil said, it's money tied up. Where at the minute we've got where we want to invest for this year anyway. I mean, we've only been going 2 years.
Yeah.
We're very young for a company, so never say never, but we've got a plan of attack. Obviously, when we come out of this, of what we're going to spend some money on this year, where we're going to invest, and what we're going to do, and then every year, if we can, we'll you know.
Well, just adding to the range all the time. At the moment, we've got all the kits we really want to do, and we tend to stock. Obviously, all new releases we take in anyway. And obviously, the paint ranges, we still want to do some things in there. We want to sort that out, which will probably be the next thing. And then, as say, afterwards, we'll start, you know, increasing the range and taking on different brands and various things like that. But as I say, we're very small at the moment. Give us a couple of years and we'll be huge. We'll be giving the big boys a run for the money.
Take over the world.
We're taking over the world. Couple in here. Hi guys, a problem you might help me with. My Badger BA1100 isn't auto cutting out, just continues to build up. Is there a way you can amend this? I don't know the airbrush, to be honest. Do you know that one, Matt? A BA1100?
I don't. I'll be honest. I don't.
The wild guess, isn't that the air valve sticky?
Yeah, that's a sticky air valve if it's just chucking air through, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
we've spoken about it before. Go off and have a look at my airbrush videos. There's loads about disassembling airbrush and stuff. It sounds like it's doing. We were talking about somebody had a similar problem the other day with it running on. Just make sure that whatever stabs the nipples, we call it, the air stem, make sure that's clear, and maybe a drop of oil or something. You know, a bit of lube down in there. Just to make sure it's springing and returning well, because if it's running on, as we call it, something's getting stuck. So if it's a needle not returning forward to shut off the paint, if it's just throwing paint out, normally it's a seal issue. So either the seals are too tight and they're squashing too much, and then, you know, if someone suffers from sciatica, it's the same thing. It literally is pinching on the needle, so consequently it will then grip it and it won't let the needle come forward. If it's air that's running on, normally it's a similar issue. There's usually a seal somewhere around the top of the nipple on the air stem, and if that's gripping as well, it won't release it, so they can run on. So just make sure both of them are free. That should cure the problem. Matt says, hi guys. Sorry, that was Matt. This is John. Says 4th wedding anniversary today, and he's out in the shed building an Airfix Whirlwind.
Oh, that's brave.
Happy anniversary.
Honeymoon period's definitely over there. He says, not being naughty, just have a great wife. Bless. Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
The Sea Hurricane is a modified Mark 1, so forget that.
Oh, right, okay. Nope.
Apparently, the Vickers 40mm guns were on the Mark 2D.
Oh.
I don't know much about hurricanes, so.
Still be a nice kit though, wouldn't it, with a big gun?
It would, because there's 2 gondola guns underneath.
Yeah. Proper cannons.
Oh, did the Sea Hurricane look? Didn't they have those in white?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd look quite cool. That'd be good for your Royal Navy lineup.
Yeah. Graham says, can you still get the Saab JA37 Vigan in 48 scale? And is there an issue with the build? You've got a couple of chances in there, isn't it? Special hobby. or
special hobby, isn't it?
what they called themselves, the real company?
Tarangus.
Yeah, I think they're both available.
Yeah, they're all available. The Vigan in 48.
Yeah. Issues with the kit. My issue with the kit is it doesn't come with all the aftermarket that they flog afterwards. It's almost like they give you half a kit. Just saying. It's always been my issue with them, is that they give you, there's no weapons or pylons into it, and if you want to have the pylons, they're an optional extra you have to pay for. And I'm like, why would you do that? That's like giving you half a kit. You have to buy everything else to go with it. It just seems bad that they released it at the same time. It's not like it was an optional extra afterwards and it's in the kit, but here's a better one. Oh no, with them it's like, there's the model, and if you want the pylons, they're extra.
It's not a cheap kit either.
No.
Mind you, it's a cracking looking aircraft.
Well, I think that they didn't put the pylons in was cheeky. Not having weapons, I mean...
Yeah, I think I was
just do that, but pylons, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yes. Phil, have you, and are you still going to be doing a review of the new Airfix Tiger Moth? Hopefully there's one winging their way down, is there?
Well.
Oh dear.
He sold them all. I'm only saying that because I'm looking here on the site and it says sold out on it. So he sold my review sample. I bet he has. See, he does this, everyone. I'd just like to point out, it's going to say sold out on here, isn't it?
It's sold out. It's definitely sold out. I'm just trying to work out how many I put in stock.
Yes, look, there we go. Sold out. The git. He sold my review sample.
Don't worry, there'll be another coming in.
Right,
Awesome.
okay. Well, as soon as I get another one sent, it'll be fine.
But, yeah.
Do you know of any fluorescent paint that can be airbrushed? I know that Revell has one, but not sure if it can be airbrushed. Want to use it for aircraft slime lines. Don't do that. Use this stuff. Oh god, I can't see where I put it now. Hold on. It might take me half hour to find it, but I've got some amazing stuff. Just got to find it. Hold on. Give us a week.
There you go. Rummaging through all his drawers.
While Phil's looking, Mark said while we've been broadcasting, he sprayed Mr. Coloured Dark Iron through his Harder Steamback Ultra. It went on great. His cleat is Ultra with rusting cellular thinner, and my pinch nozzle now drips airbrush cleaner. I've changed the original nozzle holder thing and it doesn't leak. Has the cellulose thinner ruined the seal on the pinch nozzle? The rustings is... That's the only rustings I've heard of is the additive. But cellulose, I bet it's really aggressive.
It is. It's proper alien blood, that stuff. So yeah, chances are it might have melted your seal.
Yeah, I think it might have knackered the seal up because it is really strong.
It's lethal, that stuff.
Yeah.
I can't find it. I'm sorry, I've lost it. You can buy, and I will do some homework, or unless somebody knows, sheets of it, A4 paper. And I used to have it here because the thing is, if I have it on the desk and the studio lights, I go out and it lights up the room. And it's basically paper that is thingy, but you can use it like a decal. And all you do is cut them to size, put them on your model, and then instant glow. So you hit it with a torch for 30 seconds, turn it off, the thing will glow. Literally, it'll light everything up. But I can't think what I've done with it. It's here somewhere in the studio. The thing is, I had it on the desk when it first came in, and literally the lights are all on here. Turned off all the lights and it's like daylight in here, and there's this sheet of orange glow, and it is that thing, if you put your hand over it and then take your hand away, you have a handprint where the light can't get to it. It's proper good stuff, but I don't know what I've done with it now. It's here somewhere. It must be in a cupboard because it was literally like the room at night. But it's I was sent an A4 sheet as a demo, and I don't know what I've done with it now. It's been put in a cupboard because it would light the place up. So
what's it for? He wants it for?
Doing the slime lines. It's, well, not on this aircraft, but Western aircraft have what we call slime lines. So they're the lines on aircraft that are down the tail and that light up.
Yeah.
So they're formation markings.
On an Hornet, wasn't it, last
Yeah,
week?
we were talking about on a Hornet. So modern ones are green now. They used to be like a yellowy colour, but modern, they're actually like a green. So
I've got a funny feeling Hasegawa did decals for slime lights that glowed in the dark, because I think the Eurofighter had them in.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they did them as an aftermarket set. That's something I need to look at maybe for tomorrow.
Yes.
But, like tickles.
I've lost where I am now. Do you guys know? That was the one. Yeah, no problem, Peter. Oh, the guys talking about themselves. Hi there. Has anybody give me any feedback on the Edard Mirage 3 kit? Did you do a Mirage 3?
Yes, they do, because it's the Israeli.
Oh right. Oh yeah, of course it is. Yes.
And then they do a French one.
So whose kit's in that?
The what? Sorry.
Whose kit's in it?
There's.
It is the Edard one.
Yeah, Edard's is the old. Well, there's a really old Hella one, if I remember. From This Is the Timeline. Then it's the Edard one. Then there's a Hobby Boss one, which I've built and is a real kit, to be honest.
Yeah, I've built it as well. Yeah.
And then there's the Kinetic one, which I think is a more up-to-date one. I've heard there's fit issues with the Edard one, the wings to fuselage and stuff. Because that's a Mirage C. And I think the Kinetic one's a Mirage E.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And the Hobby Boss
it's the EJ version. They call them the Hobby Boss one I did.
CJ, is it?
CJ,
yeah?
Something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think me and you did the same one then. So it depends if you want to do a C or an E, because the only E one that I know of, I think, is Kinetic. I don't think it's a bad kit, but it depends on what you're doing with it. I think, to be honest, I think I'd build the Hobby Boss one. It was so easy to get together. It was a fab kit. The only thing I think I changed was at the time was I put a resin seat in it.
Yeah, I must admit, I did mine in the deserty markings that are on the box art for one of them, and it really nice kit, went together really, really well. And actually, the funny thing is, and I think it's still on the site to this day. Do you know what? This could be a proper flashback thing here.
Because you did the French version, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I did the Israeli version with.
Here you go. Look, here's a blast. Jesus,
here
this is proper. This here is the original pictures I used for the wash, to demo the wash, to show the wash before and after shot. That is that kit. So that is circa, Jesus, when 2002, something like that, 2003, when that kit first came out, because it's got beautiful panel lines all over it.
It has this. It is a good kit. Fits Brill as well, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, there it is. The wash.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. There's a blast. Yeah, that is that kit. Who knew? Very good. So I just whipped through some questions because we're going over slightly, guys. Monograms F14A Tomcat, any issues should be aware of? I'm not sure about the A, but definitely the D, if I remember right, is raised panel lines. That's an issue. It's quite an old kit, and it's a horrible kit to go together, if I remember rightly. Can't speak for the A, I've never built that one. Roger says, is there a scooter kit? If you mean the A4 scooter, then Hasegawa all the way. There's a beautiful, don't touch the Hobby Boss one. It's well, but yeah. So God, what was it called? Edard did a Rebox, which is the one that I did.
Yes,
with all the bits in there. You'll soon be bigger than Tesco.
Yeah.
Lines of people. Quarantine.
Why are Tesco's going out of business?
Yes. Matt says Flory Models needs an Australian supplier for the washers and sanders, or just come direct because it probably work out cheaper by the time they put their chunk on and all the rest of it. He's not talking about the Badger BA110. That's a compressor. If it's not cutting off, that's a pressure valve issue. Well, yeah, some of them don't cut off, don't forget. Some of them are manual, but it doesn't have an auto stop start. If not, it'd be the auto stop start sensor, which is a pressure sensor on it, isn't working. So careful with that. You don't want it overpressured. Usually you have an emergency release valve on the bottom, which is usually part of your dump valve, which is what you release to empty your tank.
Yeah.
Can you start carrying masks? What, as in face masks, I presume he means. Yeah, they're talking about compressor there. So sorry about that. No wonder I've never heard of it. And help resolving. Yeah, there are obviously any help to resolve this as it's driving me mad. The compressor is a 3-litre tank. Yes, it's obviously the stop start or your auto cut off sensor. Yeah, you want to get that looked at, because otherwise what will happen is your compressor will just be running on and getting very, very hot, and that's when bearings tend to give out as well. They overheat and your bearings just rip apart.
Yeah, it's going to knacker your motor up as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think we're pretty much... Oh, scooter is in a bike. Well, I didn't know.
Oh, you do? What, like a Vespa?
Yeah, I think he means Vespa.
Italeria's got a Vespa at the minute in 1/9 scale.
There you go.
Here's trouble. I'm going to get knocked on the door. I can hear somebody's just come out.
Oh, right.
I'll be like, your jacket potato's nearly ready, I think, or something. Hold on, where is she? Perhaps not, because she knows I'm filming. Yeah, I know there's a Vespa out, which I think is an old Pro-Tar kit again, but other scooter-wise, I don't know, really. I don't think there's anybody's ever done a Lambretta.
I mean, Scalemates is
Yeah.
going to be the place to start for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, Bill, what did you end up doing the Meng? Did I end up doing it? Yeah, the Meng Terminator. Yes, I've done that. In fact, I don't think it's in here anymore. We took it to a show once. I think it's still out in the unit being boxed. But yes, no, we did that. There's a video about weathering it on the net that's a free to watch one. But yes, I don't know where that video is actually. Hold on. But no, there's a full video build on that with all the weathering. The weathering you can see somewhere. Terminator. Oh, there it is. There it is. Terminator. Still a cool kit. It's a cool looking thing because it looks odd and weird. There you go, all the weathering. So I showed how to do chipping weathering with the wash. So you let it dry on and chip the weathering off. It's a weird thing. You use ice cold water, but it does work. But yeah, that just had the wash on it, nothing else but wash. So yeah, it is a cool looking tank.
Yes.
Or armoured fire support vehicle. It's not a tank, is it? I don't know. Does it still count? I don't know. What's the definition of a tank again? Pointy thing on the top? A rotating pointy thing? I don't know.
Sorry.
A turret. But yeah, but no, we did all this funny chipping with it, which is a technique where you use cold water to flick off the wash. If you use warm water, it comes off too easy. So you use cold water and it chips off and stuff like that. So yes, but never mind. There you go, part 7. You can see it, freebie to watch in there. So yes, go and have a look in that one. But it was a very, very nice kit. So yes. Anything else in our chat before we go?
I think someone answered. Richard said that Hasegawa have got fluorescent yellow sheets, TF7. And later on, it was Richard again said Silhouette have more realistic yellow sheets, which is labelled as printable glow-in-the-dark sticker paper. I think we're pretty clear at this end.
Yeah.
Apart from what time...
Roger, we answered you. Roger's obviously behind us. He's not watching live because he's put too many questions, can't get an answer. We just answered you, didn't we? That was the question, wasn't it?
No, the chat for me is it flicks and moves.
Yes.
I do my best, but if I've missed them, we'll try and pick it up tomorrow. Yes. But we want to know what time we're on tomorrow.
Tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tuesday.
Sunday plus
no
2
idea.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is day.
Yes, tomorrow is Tuesday. So yes, I don't know. Do you want to do 2 till 4?
Yes.
Or we can keep on this time slot. What do people prefer?
Don't know. Whatever you want to do, we'll work around you. So what do you want to do? 2 till 4? Might be easier rather than...
Well, no, they're all saying 3. Do 3. We'll do 3 till 5. That's all right. Yeah.
So we'll do a 7 till 9, yeah?
Can do on Wednesday and Thursday.
Get Andy on, because Andy will be like, you know what he's like.
Yeah.
Then saying 3 works. I mean, if we do 2, it's crazy early in the States, isn't it? It's early enough.
All right, so we'll do 3 till 5. That's fine.
3, I quite like 3 till 5. have to do stuff in the...
Free till dinner time, that's what I'm calling it.
Yeah.
Cool. There we go. Look, depends where you are. So yes, I will try and get this uploaded this evening. So it'll either be up later today or it'll be up with you tomorrow. So that's part 10 of this thing. And then tomorrow I'm going to crack on with it. And then hopefully we'll get it all armed up tomorrow and looking very nice right the way through. As I say, as soon as the reviews and bits and pieces come through, then obviously we'll get going with them. Clearly I won't get a bloody thingy now. Ah!
You will get one.
No, I won't. I'm going to be left out. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the like button, mash bell thing, and all the rest of it that goes with it like that. As I say, I'll get part 10 of this up for the members. You'll get all of this one, hopefully a little bit later. If not, it'll be up first thing in the morning. It's just that, you know what it is. At the moment, everybody's on YouTube. So it's taking forever to upload things. So, but anyway, it'll be up as soon as I possibly can do it. But it's all edited. It's all there. It will be up as soon as we can get it there. Lovely. Thank you very much for joining us today, guys. Lovely job as always.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody in live chat and everyone stay safe, stay washing your hands, keep your social distancing and keep your loved ones close and make sure you call your mothers. That's the thing. Right, lovely. Happy modelling. Take care. See you all soon. Bye.
Bye.